Hey, this is Tim here with Expert Power Wash. Back behind me there, you can probably guess, got another skid there to show you guys. This one is going down to California. It's actually getting picked up tomorrow, and it's going out to Matt. But I've done so many of these walkthrough videos, I wanted to kind of highlight, maybe pull back a little bit, just kind of talk to you guys through the camera, and let some of my passion come through on these builds. I believe we build one of the best possible products out there. These things got to be stout. They got to be able to be built to make you money, and they got to be easy to work on. You know, all those things, it has to be usable. And that's why we called our skids the Workhorse, because that's exactly what it is. It's meant to go out there, make you money. It's not something that we're trying to progress our business and build something in volume and put something out there that's flashy. If I sell you a skid, I want to sell you another one. So I'm not just trying to take your money once, I want to take your money twice. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, we want your repeat business, and that's why we're trying to build the best possible product out there. It's our reputation. Anybody that has looked at our skids or bought our skids or talked about our skids, it's been nothing but positive out there. Take a look at our reviews, take a look at our YouTube comments, Facebook groups. Ask around, ask anybody if they've seen an Expert Power Wash skid. We have them all over the United States now. Almost, well, I don't want to say in every state, because I probably need to make one of those pin boards and put up little pins where we have them, but we have quite a few out there. So several on the East Coast, the Midwest, South, North, all over. We're proud of what we're doing out here in Portland, Oregon, and we're blessed and fortunate to be able to continue to do it. We're growing. We're going to add a second builder to what we're doing here. And if you like what you see, you like what we're doing out here, you want to support us, maybe you don't have the funds, one thing you can do, it's super simple. Click the like button, click the subscribe. You guys will go through my videos and know I never ask for this, but I was looking at stats the other day, and 80% of the people that view our videos are not subscribers. So just a real quick, simple way, easy, buy me a digital coffee, hit the subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate that. We want to get the word out to other people what we're doing out here. And anybody that's local, our shop is open to the public 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. Hit me up if you want to spend a little bit of time talking and walking around the shop and seeing what we do. Be happy to have you out. We're doing classes quarterly out here now as well. So we're trying to be able to offer everything that you guys need to get your businesses going. Full support, full equipment support, coaching. You know, I'm not a coach. I'm not going to proclaim to be some coach and put together a coaching program, but I do one-to-one phone calls and talks with people, and just to share some of the successes that I've had. And hopefully that is something from my personal experiences that somebody can get a little value out of. I do charge for that, and it's not, again, that's me talking on the phone for an hour. It doesn't make me a ton of money. It just makes sure that I'm talking to somebody that has some skin in the game. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time talking to somebody that's not serious, and that's unfortunately that happens a lot. So if you want to talk and spend a little bit of time, it's just like, you know, telling somebody that your time matters, and that's what paying me for, you know, an extended amount of time to share some of the inside secrets. That's what that's all about. So again, I run the store. We build skids. I'm not trying to make money off of coaching, but I just want to know that if I'm talking to somebody, they do have some skin in the game. That makes it a little bit easier for me to share some of the inside stuff and have a conversation with somebody that's willing to invest in their business. Hey, I know this was a long intro. Let's jump into this skid. I'm going to show you, like I said, I'm going to pull back, kind of just talk to you person to person through the camera if it comes across that way, and show you guys what I'm passionate about, what we're doing here, and hopefully earn your business. Let's take a look at this skid. All right, here it is. This is an 8-foot aluminum pressure washing skid, truck setup. It's called a couple different things, but this is a full soft wash and pressure washing setup for commercial and residential pressure washing soft wash businesses. We'll do an overview so you can kind of see what is all on this skid, see some of the features, look at the plumbing, the way that this thing is constructed. We use the highest quality parts, custom built machines. We probably overbuild these a little bit, but these things are built to work. They are for pressure washing businesses. This is not necessarily something that somebody would have as like a homeowner or something like that. This is going to be as commercial and professional as it gets. So we'll start over here. This is an 18-inch Titan reel. On this one, this has manual reels. You can order this with electric reels as well. But this one has 200 feet of soft wash hose, and we're not just putting any soft wash hose on here. We're using soft jet. So if anybody's familiar with that stuff, really great soft wash hose there. It's considered to be one of the best hoses out there. And we have ours spec'd out with crimped fittings on here. So these are crimped 1/2-inch fittings. And what that does is it makes it easy to hook up the gun. You don't have a lot of extra like barbs and hose clamps there, like what you would normally see in like a home built deal. This has a polypropylene gun. So this is a hardened plastic. It's going to be a heavy duty. These things can crack, but they're going to be a little bit more stout than some of the other guns out there. With this being polypropylene, it makes it chemical resistant. So it's not going to corrode up and fall apart on you as you're out there trying to get jobs done. So stainless steel quick connect. And then this part here, this is considered a J-rod or a four nozzle holder is what you might hear people call it. And then of course we have stainless steel nozzles. So everything on here is stainless steel and polypropylene. Again, that's meant to be chemical resistant, bleach resistant. I've seen people use brass on these. Brass does not play nice with bleach. It's a cheaper option, and it's a good way to cheap out if we're trying to get you, a budget build here to where we can save you a ton of money. The problem with budget stuff is over time, those small little savings, they're gonna end up costing you a lot more money down the road. So, this isn't gonna be your cheapest skid out there. You can shop around and, there's other great builders out there. They are friends of ours in the industry. We love them to death. Everybody builds things a little bit different. This is how we build ours. So again, super high quality, 200 feet, 1/2-inch hose there. Another thing to mention about our reels, these are full frame aluminum reels. So again, there's a lot of cheap options out there, and where things start to really matter is under the hood per se. And what I mean by that is this manifold right here. So on reels, you can save an extra $100, $150. This is called the manifold. And if that is like an iron manifold or regular steel, that's gonna rust. So if you're putting 6 to 12% of bleach through there day in and day out, this reel is gonna fall apart in less than a year. So you wanna make sure that you have a super high quality reel. Everything's constructed super high quality. This is stainless steel bolts. So these are really nice reels. They're built great. We've been using Titans for a long time. It's kind of the standard in the industry. Going on over here, you have a stainless steel swivel. And then of course we have the stainless steel barb in there. And something with hose clamps, most people don't know these, but these are upgraded hose clamps. So the ones you typically see in a hardware store, it'll say stainless steel. The problem is this part right here is not stainless steel. So it's a zinc screw, and these are constant. We see them every day. The guys that come into the shop that use the cheap hardware store clamps, they're all rusted and falling apart. So highly recommend, if this is gonna be something that you take on as far as a build, make sure that you dig around and you use some good parts, because if not, you're going to have fail points and you're gonna be rebuilding, and it's just gonna end up costing you more. So we live by this here. You gotta do it right the first time. That has been probably my 2024 comment that I've said around the shop just endlessly. If we're going to do something, we're going to do it right, and we're going to do it right the first time. So you'll see that kind of themed on everything that we're putting out here out of our shop. We want things to be done right. This is the Flow Pro, but before we get into exactly what that is, I'm gonna show you something that we're super proud of. These are the new aluminum mounting brackets. So on previous generations, this part right here, this was a 3D printed plastic. I believe there is still some floating out there, and we have them on the website, but it's something that we're not going to use anymore on the build. So a reason why somebody might want a plastic one is these are 120 bucks. Somebody might think that is crazy pricing on those, but if you look at them, there is a video on the channel. Take a look at it. I talk about these extensively, how they're machined and cut out, the thickness of them. It costs us a lot of money for these, and it's not cheap. But the 3D printed ones, the plastic ones, they crack. So if you buy a $35 bracket and then you buy another one, you're up to 70 bucks. You buy 3 or 4 of those in the next 2 years, you're already at that amount anyways. So for somebody to say that, spending a little extra money is kind of out of the budget, you're going to spend it now or you're going to spend it later. Again, that's going to be, doing it right the first time. So if there's a better part, we're constantly innovating. You know, we're not happy about the plastic ones when we used them, but it was all that we had available to us. I knew that there was a better way, and now here it is. This is the better way. So this is the Flow Pro. You can see on here, this has the Super Sud sucker on it. So this is an upgraded injector. This isn't the general pump one. We love the general pump one, but this is going to pull a little bit more than what your typical hydrol injector is going to pull. We can get into exactly how this system works, but that would be probably a full video in itself. And we do plan on doing some in-person downstream classes here, as well as some videos in the future as soon as I can get some time and get those recorded for you guys. But basically a downstream bypass here, it allows you to turn the soap on and off, and you're using the pressure washer to downstream or spray soap out of that system. So that gives you an additional system to wash with in addition to the 12-volt system, and I'll show you guys that once we get over on that side. Next reel here, this is going to be an 18-inch reel. There is 200 feet of pressure washer hose. I'll show you something over here. We sell a couple different pressure washer hoses, and if we're trying to build these budget, we would use this stuff, and I like this stuff. It's wrapped, it's gray, it's non-marking. We could probably get the cost down if we wanted to use this stuff, but I build these skids like it's my skid. So this over here, this is our Fierce Jet, super heavy duty. You can look on it, has a nice smooth jacket, over a 10,000 PSI burst rate, 4250 on the PSI, and then this is rated for hot water. So you can see when people come into the shop, we filled this probably 3 or 4 times this week. That we haven't filled at all. So, you know, budget isn't always better. This is far superior hose, way better hose. It's on our trucks, it's on our skids, it's what we use to build with, and that's what you're gonna get when you get a skid from us. You're gonna get good stuff. So if there's the best hose out there, you're gonna get the best hose. So that's what's on here. You got 200 feet. There's 2 100-foot sections. We do the 100-foot sections because if we did 200 feet of continuous and one was to break, you would be out your whole hose. So we get that question a lot. Why not just put, you know, one longer hose on there, and then you don't have the joint in the middle of the hose where you have to connect them? That's why. So on the end here, ball valve swivel. This is the Mossmatic. Try to get up there. You want to be careful where you get these. I've seen some copies floating around out there, especially Amazon, but this is a true Mossmatic swivel directly from Mossmatic. And again, you have stainless steel couplers. The steel ones will rust or fall apart almost immediately. The brass ones, they'll last a little bit longer, but still not great. Again, you're getting stainless steel. So stainless steel, stainless steel, stainless steel. You can probably see the theme as we go through this skid. You're going to see a lot of stainless steel stuff. One of the things I left out too, I try to cover every detail that we put into our skids. All of our hardware, even the bolts that hold those down, the bolts that hold the reels down, everything that we use now is 316 stainless. So we was using 304. We got to crunching some numbers and found out that if we bought them in bulk, we can get them down, or it was just a couple cents more than the 304 that we was buying. So again, you know, it probably doesn't matter to some people. They can say, oh yeah, we use stainless steel hardware on our skids. It matters to me. So if we can build something that's going to be a little bit better and last a little bit longer, that's what we're going to do. So that's why we have 316 stainless steel hardware on all the skids that we build out now. This rail is going to be the same as the soft wash. You got the stainless steel manifold, stainless steel handle, stainless steel swivel, stainless steel fittings here. One of the things I didn't cover over here is all this stuff is on quick connects. So if you want to bypass the bypass, you can kind of see how it's hooked up now. There's a quick connect there on the back side. You could actually hook it up to the Flow Pro or hook it up to where it's going to the reel. So this makes it a little bit more universal. You can use it many different ways. Even the back of the pressure washer, and we'll get over there, that has a quick connect on it. So if that whip line blew or you had issues with anything in the system, you could bypass pretty much anything and just run a hose directly up to the pressure washer. All this stuff that we do, the extra little things, the extra stainless, the things that cost a little bit more money. I was out on the truck for years. I've had hoses burst. I've had to leave jobs because I didn't have things set up properly. I didn't have the extra, the redundancy of backup things that could possibly go wrong in place to kind of keep you working. So that's why we build the skids the way that we do, is we want this thing to work under just about every type of condition that you might come across. Over here, this is a 12-inch reel, and this has 100 feet of Flexzilla hose. We absolutely love this hose. We've tried some other hose in the past and always kind of landed back here. So it's a bigger diameter, inner diameter. It's going to flow more water into your tanks. It's going to fill up a lot faster. You have a 3/4 hose that goes into a Hudson float valve. So right in there, that's going to stop once the water fills up to the bottom of that, and it automatically turns off your water. If you look at this, we have true banjo fittings on here. Everything, like I said, we have real stainless steel clamps, bolts, true banjo fittings. On this one here, we have brass. So this is a brass 1/2 inch to a 3/4. And again, this one is all stainless. Again, this is where somebody might, if they were going to cut a corner, it would make sense, but we just don't do it. Water, there's no chemicals. You could probably get away with using just a regular reel over here that's not stainless steel, but we're going to keep everything themed with stainless. So again, stainless steel swivel, stainless steel manifold. The reel, of course, is all full frame aluminum. We'll get down and I'll show you some of the plumbing here. So you can see where the 2 water tanks are tied together. These are heavy duty banjo fittings, and we're using the heavy duty clamps from the UK. We've covered this in some of the other videos. Really stout. There's really nothing that clamps like these ones do. And you can kind of see how we have this all plumbed up. That is the drain hose there, and it has a ball valve on the end of it. So once this thing's loaded into the truck, this hose right here would just kind of be along the outside of the skid and then just be rolled up there. So you can fill buckets with it, you can rinse out your hands, your eyes, and of course drain the tank so you don't have to travel around with a bunch of extra water. Coming back on up to here, since we're talking about the tanks, there is 3 tanks there. You notice that these are the slim 100-gallon tanks. The reason why we build this with these types of tanks, I don't believe I covered this in the beginning of the video, but look at the amount of space here. So there's over 5 feet with all this equipment, full 8-gallon a minute pressure washer, 3 hose reels, 300 gallons of liquid capacity, 200 gallons of water, 100 gallons of bleach, and you still have almost the whole truck bed still open so you can actually use your truck. That was one of the things that drove me nuts, is I knew that there was a better way, better design, better layout for these things, and this has been a tried and true design. We've ran these for several years in our own trucks. These tanks, these are super heavy duty. I'm going to take you over to, we have some stuff here. I'm going to show you a little sample piece. I put it on a zip tie here so you can see. Look at how thick that is. It's at least 1/4 inch. It might be more, but yeah, it's super thick. So that's what the tanks are made out of. We got them here. We make custom brackets, all that good stuff. That is an Ultra Mini that we're working on. Just a little bonus glance there at that one. All right, going back over to this skid here. Let's see, where were we? Flow Pro. So they got the Flow Pro right there. That is the controller box and the light. And that's mounted up all neatly here. The wires all ran neatly along the side there. And then this is the downstream rinse out valve. So pointed up is chemical, and then pointed down is water. The reason why you'd want another valve there is when you turn your soap on the Flow Pro, you can actually pull water through there, and that rinses out your system. So that, again, that's just something extra that we put in to protect the system and keep everything functioning a little bit longer. Anything that you're spraying bleach through, you want to make sure that it is 100% rinsed out. And that is bolted up there to the surface cleaner locking rack there. Here's the back of the skid. Excuse me, my throat was getting scratchy there. Here's our EPW box, and I'll open this up. We have a little soft wash guide in there. Some of the accessories. This is our house wash gun. This has been a very popular gun. Stainless steel fittings, stainless steel wand there, stainless steel quick connect. Looks like there's a turbo nozzle there. Take a look at, let me see if I can get in here to show you how we have this all wired up, how clean that is. Everything just flows in real neatly through the side there. Again, this is a locking box, so you're able to keep other things in there, but it is mainly for the battery and some of the wiring. I believe we actually have the fuse link in there. Didn't show you that. So right back there, it's all the little things. So you can see the wiring, how thick this stuff is. We use 100% marine grade wiring. That is 3M heat shrink there, so we don't use any of the cheap Amazon stuff. The lugs are pure tin plated copper. But going back to that fuse link there, that is a full-size automotive fuse, and we use Bussmann fuses. You know, that was just, we had some issues with fuses in the beginning, and I got the researching, and anybody that follows us knows that wiring is kind of one of my pet peeves, something that I'm very passionate about when we do the electric reels. Any type of wiring that we do on these things, I know that that's a fail point, and they're out in liquids, and you know, there's moisture, you're spraying chemicals. So everything has to be built a little bit extra sturdy, a little bit extra sealed up, insulated. So I was talking about the fuses there. We went with the Bussmann. I'm sure there's different qualities of fuses out there that are all right, but Bussmann's been around for a long time. It's kind of a staple in the automotive industry. And we're not using mini fuses, we're using full-size automotive fuses. And that little fuse link that you've seen in there, that is actually made in the USA. So something that we've tried to do with as much stuff as we can, because I know this stuff kind of comes from all over the world, but as much stuff as we can to purchase and source through the USA, that it's just, most of the time it's a far superior product. There's a reason why things are cheaper on Amazon, because it's, you know, the wiring, if you guys are not really familiar with wiring, a lot of wiring is made with filler materials, so it's not going to conduct as well. So just a kind of a little lesson there. We'll jump back into the skid. Again, I told you guys I was just going to kind of slow down and show you some of the details, maybe some of the stuff I glance over in some of the other videos. So this will give you a really good overview of what we're doing here, how we're plumbing things, the quality that you're getting. We'll go to, I showed you the Hudson float valve over there. This is the bypass hose, so once you let off the trigger gun, the water is going to bypass back into the tank, so you have a full circulation and keeps your pump cool. But something we've done here, again, this is banjo stuff. This is a sweeping 90 stainless steel that we've put in here. It's a lot higher quality. And then I'm not gonna be able to show you here because I won't think the camera will pick it up, but there's actually a barb underneath here and it shoots the water that way. So we don't have any turbulence or things going on where, say, the soft wash hoses are going to be sucking water from the bottom, and then you have the bypass that would be creating turbulence in the tank, and you would probably get air bubbles and things like that. So just some of the extra little things that we've thought about to kind of redirect the water and make everything just work better. So these are uniseals. You'll notice that the way that we plumb these, there is no bulkheads here. I'll try to show you if I can get the camera in here. I don't mind showing you guys all the details. I know some of the other builders might say, well, they'll just copy it and build it. They can if they want, but a lot of times there's a lot of details that are missed. But if this is something you want to take on, there you go. We got the hoses flow all the way through, so we're reducing some of the fail points there, and it goes all the way down to the bottom. We have the tube acts as a weight, and then we have a slotted PVC filter down there at the bottom. One tip I will give you guys, and I don't care if you copy because it's going to help you. If you use hose clamps inside your tanks, especially your bleach, it's going to turn your bleach black. I have a video on the channel about this. Somebody came in, and when we pulled that thing out, that bleach had eaten, even if it's stainless, it doesn't matter. You can't have any metal in your bleach tank, zero. I just wouldn't put any metal in any of your tanks, but especially especially your bleach tank. No clamps. We heat the hose up, we slide it on there, it stays on there really tight, and it holds just fine. Usually that filler system is fully submerged anyways under liquid, so leakage wouldn't be an issue. But you can heat those up, and they will stay on there very tight. Let's go down to the bottom here on the other side. This is the filter, and we could have just left this hang out here on the skid and just left it there, but you'll notice that that is bolted down in there. It's not going anywhere. And just kind of a little maintenance tip while we're talking about this filter, the cap can come off the other side, and then that bowl comes off, and there is a stainless steel filter in there that can be rinsed out and cleaned out. That's just one of the quick little maintenance items you can do to keep this thing working properly. But yeah, everything, again, is super high quality. Expensive clamps. These clamps are about 10 bucks a piece. We could probably order some on Amazon for $2 or $3, but the problem that we found is they don't fit right. They constantly leak. The screws are not stainless, and it's just, there's too many sellers that are selling Chinese clamps out there that try to sort through, and then once you buy from one supplier on there, and then they change it out because they're trying to, you know, stay within a price point versus put quality products out there. So we have one source that we get these from now. They're always the same. They're expensive. The skids don't leak. They work well, and that's what matters. So we're willing to pay the extra money, but just know that, you know, if we care about the quality and we're putting together something like this, this is not going to be the cheapest skid out there. But if you do consider purchasing something like this from us, you're going to have a solid skid. It's going to last. You're going to have our full support. It's going to be easy to maintenance and work on. Now, getting over to the mixer here, when I talk about easy to maintenance, something to think about is these check valves. So water usually don't have really a whole lot of issues, but you will on the bleach. You're pulling 12.5. I know our bleach that we're getting in, we just got a load earlier this week, and it was speccing, I think, at 13.4. So you're pulling hot bleach through there, and all these seals, this stuff is eventually, the bleach is going to eat it up. The chlorine gas is going to push out these seals, and you're going to have issues. It's just part of the deal. It's part of the business. These things will leak. It's not if, it's when. So that's going to be an item that you're going to have to maintenance. And we put these on the outside, so you can see how this is built. I showed you in another video, I seen some white stuff coming out of here, and it was leaking down. If all this stuff was boxed in somewhere to where I couldn't see, I wouldn't know that if I had leaks or there was trouble with the system until I started seeing stuff come out the bottom. So this is just real easy, again, real easy to work on. It's simple for a reason. So never underestimate the simplicity of things. It's built like that for a reason, because if you have an issue on any of these parts, you want to know right away and be able to maintenance that, take it back to the shop that evening, and make sure you're ready to roll for the next day. If you don't see it, it'll slowly get bad, and it'll get to the point to where it's going to fail you. So that's why we built them the way we built them. So the mixer, I'm more passionate about how we set this thing up than actually telling you guys what's on this thing. But we have 3/4 check valve, 3/4 metering valve there. We have 1/2 inch for the soap because it's going to a 1/4 inch line. So we don't really need anything bigger than that. And then over here on the chemical side, we have 3/4 check valve, and then 3/4 mixing valve there. And I will jump into another thing here. This is probably more so for the techie people. You're just wanting a quick walk around and a price on this thing. This video probably isn't for you, but if you're wanting somebody that's going to obsess about every single little detail, like, so these are check valves. You can buy these for a lot cheaper. They're going to look the same on the outside. They make them, I believe, in a steel, and they make them in a stainless steel. Most guys go with the stainless steel because they just suspect that, yeah, it's stainless, it's going to be chemical resistant. It is up to a certain point. We are actually building ours with Hastalloy. So do some research, take a look at that steel. It's going to be a lot more chemical resistant than stainless steel. Just a way better material. So again, we pay extra. I've compared these check valves side by side. They look exactly the same, but they are a lot cheaper. So again, if I was trying to get to a price point for you guys, there would be so many corners cut that is under the hood that you wouldn't know about until you got the skid out in the field and you were working with it after about a year or so. and then you would slowly start to see things deteriorate and fall apart. Now, I'm not saying that this thing is not ever going to have an issue. I mean, you're spraying bleach, you're going to have stuff go wrong and maintenance things that need to be done. But if you can reduce some of those things, that's important. So with reducing things and keeping things running longer, this is a 3-way rinse valve. So this is pulling straight bleach through here. This rinse valve right here, when you turn it down towards water, just like we have it set up there, it's going to pull water in through that system and push out all the bleach. So you turn your soap off, water all the way on, bleach all the way on, and then you're pulling water and water. So just a little thing there to protect the mixer and the pump. I'll show you the pump there on the back side once we round out around the front of the skid there. Over here, this is our custom 8-gallon a minute pressure washer. This is a gear drive, and I'll just quickly show you a few things that we've done different with ours. We have off-the-shelf pressure washers. This is not necessarily an off-the-shelf pressure washer. This is what we use to build our skids. Again, this is where, if you're trying to produce mass amounts of these, this is an area where corners can be cut, because you're just going to take a production model and slap it onto a skid, and there you go. You don't do anything with it. So take a look at this. So this is your pump. We'll start right here. See this right here? So this supports the pump. So there's massive amounts of vibration that happens when you're running these things. So this has a support underneath of it. And then along with that vibration, you can see that the unloader has been taken off of the pump, and we have it relocated down here on the back of the pressure washer, and that is a K7. So that's not a VRT3. The VRT3 unloader is kind of your common typical unloader. It is about $65 to $70. I believe these unloaders right now are $159. What this unloader does, it's a soft pull. So when you pull the trigger on the pressure washing gun, it's going to slowly let the pressure in through the gun, and it's not going to jerk you back like a shotgun. So if you're up on a ladder or you're in a situation where that could be dangerous, just a bad deal, something to be very aware of if you're running a pressure washer that jumps you back like this one, or like that. This one does not. So we have that K7 on there. These are just really a joy to run. You can see that we've put a 45 on here. A lot of times you'll have like a straight barb that'll come out here. It just makes it a little bit messier. So we want to flow everything kind of neatly and nicely on this skid. You'll see as we get around to the other side how everything is kind of flowing and plumbed. There's the bypass. There's the quick connect that I was telling you about. So if anything goes wrong with the hose in front of that, you can just take this off and actually run hose directly over to that unloader block there. So again, gear drive. The frame's aluminum. You have a genuine Honda exhaust here. So these little things cost a couple extra bucks, but you know, we're building skids for somebody that is looking for something a little bit better, not somebody that is looking for the cheapest one out there. This is going to have some bells and whistles that are going to prolong your ability to get stuff done out in the field. This is a drain for the oil. So we just tuck that right back in there. So it's easy to do maintenance on this pressure washer. This is an electric start. It has the hour meter there. This is the GX690, kind of the staple in the industry. This has been around for a long time. We'll go back over here behind the back here where I said I was going to show you. We have a heavy duty. This is the Remco dual control pump. This is on quick connects. The way that we have this set up, you can see where the wire's wrapped around there right now, but there's a bolt back here, which makes this so you don't have to put a wrench in here, and it's just a pain in the butt to change this pump. Loosen this just a little bit, and this is up against a rubber grommet. Once this is loosened up a little bit, it'll release off that rubber grommet, and then you could really spin these off by hand. There is, if I can see it back here, this is on there's an SAE plug, so this plugs in. It's wrapped around in the wiring right now. So this is a quick, easy pump to change. It just 4 bolts, spin them off. This is on quick connects. Like I mentioned, this is a dual control pump. So this is going to eliminate the cycling that you commonly see on 12-volt pumps. This is a whole nother beast, this pump. If anybody's familiar with these or runs them, This is, we started running these. We probably got about 20 builds with this new pump on there, and these things are fantastic. I have a spray-in video of a 5.3 on the channel here if you guys want to take a look at that. I was getting 46 feet out of a 5.3. I didn't measure the distance on this one. We'll be doing some spraying tomorrow with Matt, so we'll kind of see where it's spraying. But if we're getting 46 out of the 5.3, I'm sure we're probably well into that 50-foot range. And again, that's going to be all weather dependent, wind, you know, things like that. But this thing is well capable of spraying whatever you need to spray. Show you kind of the way that we have everything plumbed up. Everything flows neatly. Everything comes across the stop bar there, the tank stop bar, and then flows in over there where it needs to flow in. I just noticed anybody that's still here, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Leave a comment down below if I'm boring you, or just say, hey, I'm still here 31 minutes into the video. All right, jump back into this. This is our EPW Slim tank. This is a 13-gallon tank. This tank is only available through us. This is our own design. Now, I know it's nothing spectacular, but we're pretty proud of it because it maximizes the space there on the back, and then it just pops up above the tailgate right there, so you can fill on the driver's side. Everything's been pressure tested from our tank manufacturer, so that certification is there. We're able to get these with gauges on them. This is a very expensive tank. Anybody that's looking at this tank is $595, and we really don't make a whole lot of profit. I think I got it marked up like 20 bucks. We have to pay for shipping, and we have to handle it, pull it off the pallet, you know, all that fun stuff. So it is an expensive tank. So we don't typically put the gauges in here, but if that's an option, you guys want a gauge in here, we can do a digital one as well as just the regular gauge. So that is ready to go. A lot of guys will just take the cap off and just look inside and see how much fuel they have, but a gauge is nice as well. We do have those available. This is the pickup tube. So there is actually 2 ports on this tank. So if you ever wanted to add another machine, take that plug out of there. That is a stainless steel plug, and you can kind of see where this little lip is. This goes all the way down to the bottom of the tank. It's about, probably a little more than a 1/4 inch off the bottom. So it's not going to pick up debris or anything, but it goes almost down to the bottom. This is a rollover valve. So this little chunk here. So the pressure washer has a fuel pump in it, so it pulls fuel. So if you guys are familiar with how that system works, when you're pulling out of something and it is completely sealed out, you're going to vapor lock the pressure washer and it's not going to run. So there's a little ball on that. Look at that if you guys are not familiar with what a rollover valve is. But it's something a little extra. I see most of the time guys just put a barb in there. The problem with the barb is you're driving. If you got a full tank, the fuel splashes up and it comes right out of that, and then it leaks gas all over the back of your truck. What I like about the rollover valve is there's a little ball, and once the gas splashes up underneath that, it pushes the ball up and it makes a seal so the gas doesn't leak all over the place. But when it's sitting level, the ball is up towards the bottom and you're able to pull air. It just all works perfectly. So again, that's about, I think those rollover valves are somewhere around 30-35 bucks alone, but again, well worth it. It just makes the system work like it should. Kind of back up here, I'm going to work on ending the video here soon. There's just so much to cover on these things. We didn't even get into the construction, how heavy duty built these are. This is 1/4 inch tube. Let me see if I will show you a piece of tube. We'll walk into the store here and I'll show you a chunk of. All right, I'm back. I believe the video cut out there. The phone went dead, so I'll pick up where we were here and get this thing wrapped up. But here is the material. I'm going to bring this out into the light so you guys can see this a little bit better. So this is rounded aluminum, so there's no sharp edges in here. The stuff costs a little bit more, but it's really nice stuff. You can see that's what these things are made out of, and you can see how thick that is. And something to really, this isn't something that can be put together by amateurs. If you look at the welds, penetrating welds are going to be super, super important. So this thing is all gusseted. I know this video went long. We didn't really get into the construction of this thing, but if you look at that, back in there, So we have, you know, these are supported with the tube in there, and then also the gussets all the way around. That's how this thing is built. It's just built like a tank. So just wanted to quickly share, I guess not really quickly, but show you what we're doing out here. Hopefully some of the passion came through on what we put into every single skid that we build out here. And if you're interested in one of these, I'm going to leave all of my information down in the bottom. I'll leave a phone number that you can call, and also my email and website that will have some general pricing. These skids are mostly built custom, so if you have a particular request, we do have some baseline skids on the website. Take a look at that. Take a look at the Workhorse. They can be built if it's a budget that you're trying to get to. We understand that. The cool thing about the 5.5 gallon a minute pressure washer is that it has the same base as this. So if funds are tight, I'll show you one of those over here. You can start out with one of these and add an 8 as you get time. So this is a custom built machine, gear drive, K7, same base, so it's going to have the same bolt pattern. So you can start out with that machine on this skid, and it's going to save you a couple extra bucks because, of course, you know, this is a bigger machine. You're not going to need the tank right away. So if that's something that you want to start out with and kind of work up to that bigger machine, we do offer that as well. We do have full financing. We have a cool 12-month option to where if you can pay off your skid within 12 months, it's going to eliminate some of the financing charges long term. That is the route that I recommend. If I was going to do this all over again, I would definitely shortcut the learning curve, get something nice like this. Not because I want to sell you something that we build, but this is true advice. I would pay it off within the 12 months. A lot of times the payment's going to be what you can make in 1/2 of a day on a Saturday. Doing one Saturday a month can get you rolling like this. If you have nice equipment, you're going to be able to get the jobs faster. You're going to make more money, more revenue per hour, all that good stuff. Let's jump on a phone call. Let's get one of these going for you if you're interested in one. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I appreciate you staying and watching the full video. And I'm excited to get one of these built for whoever's wanting one. So talk to you guys soon.